that we eat? 92 pounds a year. Oh, can you imagine how big is that? Ooh. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves, no offense to anybody. How many of us here feel we're at least 2 pounds overweight? At least 2 pounds. Come on, raise your hands. How about 5? Don't worry, I'm not gonna ask over 5. Can you imagine if you're 10 pounds overweight, you have 10 of this in your body? You can have it everywhere. It's so easy to put on. It's even fun, right? but wow, it's so hard to take off, isn't it? Anyway, almost all of us. Because you know what, guys? There are 5 enemies to proper nutrition. The first is peeling. Do you know that a large portion of the vitamins and minerals are just found underneath the peel of fruits and vegetables? And yet, what do? We peel it off, right? If you notice all the vegetables that I use, the carrots, the zucchini, the radish, the apple, I did not peel. Second is water. Water can begin to destroy the vital nutrients in our food. Like when you boil peas and you drain the water, what's the color of the water? Green. There goes your vitamins and minerals. The third is high heat. Cooking over 200 degrees can begin to destroy the vital nutrients in our food. Let me ask you guys, what do you usually do if you want to sterilize a baby's bottle?
You boil it.
You boil it, right? What are you doing? You're killing the germs, the bacteria by boiling it, right? Can you imagine what you're doing when you boil your vegetables? You're sterilizing your vegetables. You're destroying all the vitamins and minerals. Do you guys know what temperature water boils? It's 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees centigrade. Now some people say they steam their food. Do you guys know what temperature water steams? It's equal to or higher than boiling. So if you're already killing all the vitamins and minerals when you boil, what more when you steam your food? And the worst is our friend, the microwave. Because microwave reaches temperature starting at 400 degrees to 1,000 degrees. So when you preheat your food in a microwave, especially vegetables, all the vitamins and minerals are totally gone. The fourth is oxidation. This goes with the light and air attacking your food, killing all the vitamins and minerals. Like when you buy an apple, you peel a potato, and you let it sit, what happens? It turns brown, right? This is the light and air attacking it, killing all the vitamins and minerals. That's why high quality vitamins, they can be coated or they come in dark bottles to protect it from the light and preserve the potency. And the last enemy of good nutrition are fats and oil. We all know that fats and oil can make our food much harder to digest. And we all know that we should take out all the fats and oil in our diet. So with Saladmaster, guys, we do not peel. We do not cook in water. We do not cook in high heat. We cook in a sealed container and we eliminate all the fats and oil in your diet. Here's proof. When we cook 3 different kinds of vegetable the Saladmaster way, the results are carrots, 88.3% retain nutrition. Potatoes, 93.4. Broccoli, 98.1 for a total average retention of 93%, which is very high. Now, just to give you guys an idea, when you boil your vegetables, the maximum retained nutrition that you get is only 20%. So let's say you bought a carrot for $1 and you boiled it, you're only getting 20 cents of your money's worth. You're throwing away 80 cents by boiling it. That's why we need to take supplemental vitamins, because we're not getting all the vitamins that we need from the food that we eat because we don't cook it properly. With Saladmaster, as you can see, it's 93%, which is very high. Now, I'm going to show you how water damages food value. We're going to pretend we're going to feed a baby with carrots, okay? So if you wanted to feed a baby with carrots, what do you do? What do you usually do if you want to feed a baby with carrots?
You boil it.
You boil it. You mash it, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do, we're going to pretend we're going to feed the baby with carrots. So I'm going to take off my gloves, put on a new one, okay? Because we're going to pretend we're going to feed a baby with carrots. And who's going to pretend to be our baby tonight?
Everybody.
Huh? Who's going to be our baby tonight?
William.
Somebody who looks like a baby. Okay.
William.
Okay. Why, does Aisha look like a baby?
She's the skinniest.
The skinniest is the one who looks like a baby. So the skinny baby. Okay.
I already went up there.
Okay. So we're gonna pretend, and all of you are gonna be babies tonight, okay? So we're gonna pretend we're gonna feed the baby with carrots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grate some carrots, okay? So I'm gonna grate some carrots because we're gonna pretend we're gonna feed a baby with carrots, okay? Now when you okay, we're gonna grate the carrots, and then What do you do if you want to feed the baby with carrots after grating it?
Fury.
What do? You cook it, right? So, okay. I'm going to pretend this is going to be my stove right here. Okay? And I'm going to pretend it's going to be my pot. Okay? So we're going to load it with carrots because we're going to pretend we're going to cook the carrots, right? So I'm going to put some here. There you go. Ooh. Okay. Some more. Because I have a big baby. Okay. I'm going to have a big baby. Okay. And I'm going to pretend, I'm going to turn on the stove. What do you do if you want to cook carrots? Naturally, you put water, right? So we're going to add water as well. And I'm going to pretend I'm going to turn on the stove and the water starts to boil. So when it boils, what do? You mix it, right? You stir it, right? There. We're going to stir it. We're going to mix it, okay? And aside from mixing and stirring, what do other people do while they're cooking? They smell it. They taste it. And I remember my grandma, my Lola, oh, what a sight. Because whenever she cooks and she's waiting it for to be done, she sings. You know some people, they sing when they cook. Have you ever seen one? Oh, my grandma, wow. She goes, girls just want to have fun. Okay. So afterwards, what do? You take it off the water, right? When it's done, you take it off the water. Okay, so we're going to drain it, okay? Here we go. Now, what's the color of the water? What's the color? Orange? No. If you focus your attention on my flip chart, okay, right here it says, color represents vitamins. The flavor? Minerals. Now, guys, orange, this one goes down the drain. The sad part is, this is what we feed our families. If the drain was a member of our family, he'd be the healthiest. Don't you think so? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I want to ask big favor from you guys, okay? I want you to taste the carrot that didn't touch the water and the one that touched the water, okay? Start with this one that didn't touch the water. Take a pinch and pass it around. Take a pinch of this one and then this one, okay? We're going to start from there, okay? From Will. So take a pinch, Will. The one that didn't touch the water, taste it, and then take a pinch of the other one, and then pass it around, okay? Now, if you did not answer, I would suggest you take more, okay?
Right?
Now, pass it around, please. They taste it. It's sweet. Probably they love eating vegetables. Do you think so? Your children may be older or grown-ups now, but it's never too late, okay? So let me just put this on. Okay. Oh, thank you. Can you turn America? Because they say, your chances of dying in a car accident is 1 in 5,000. So that is your chance you'll die of a car accident. 1 in 5,000. Do you guys have any idea what your chances of dying from cancer is? If car accident is 1 in 5,000, what do you think is for cancer? 1 in? Come on, make a guess. Earn your food.
4.
Otherwise, you're starved.
4.
4. Okay. Let me just give you an idea. 60 years ago, it used to be 1 in 60 that have cancer. But that was 60 years ago. The present stats that we're right now, it's 1 in
3.
Wow. Very alarming. Don't you think so? Okay. If cancer is 1 in 3, what do you think is for heart disease? Hmm?
4.
What did you say, Yoli? Thank you, Yoli. That's the right answer. You're ready for earn your first bottle of sinigang and a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
It's 1 in 2. It's actually still the #1 killer. Meaning, 50% of the people here will die of heart disease. But the good news is, most of the cases is diet related. Meaning, we have a choice. Because let me ask you guys, what's the first thing your doctor is going to tell you to change in your lifestyle once diagnosed with heart disease?
Diet.
Your diet or eating habits, right? So which makes more sense? changing your eating habits before or after diagnosed with heart disease? That's pretty obvious, right? But the big question is, when do we start? And the problem is, check this out, ordinary pots and pans forces us to use oil. Like the chicken we're frying right now. If you were to fry it at home the conventional way, you want it crunchy, you want it crispy, you want to make sure it's cooked all the way inside. How much oil are you going to put in? A lot, right? Ideally, like deep fried, right? So for that same amount of chicken, you're probably going to put like 2 to 3 cups of oil. The chicken is submerged in oil, it's deep frying. We cook the chicken, it turns golden brown, meaning it's done, right? We're going to take out the chicken. Have you guys observed whether the oil that's left after taking out the chicken has gone more or less? Less? More?
Yes.
Okay, let's settle this, okay? You go to a fast food chain, any fast food chain, you see these big deep fryers with screen, right? Wherein they dump the chicken, right? I'm just gonna ask you one question. Have you ever seen them take out oil from those fryers, or most of the time just add oil? Or have you ever seen those deep fryers overflowing with oil? No, but it becomes lesser and lesser, right? So where did the oil go? To the chicken. So what do you do with the remaining oil after frying? You get rid of it, right? You throw it down the drain, down the sink, right? Do you throw it down the sink, down the drain? No, why not? Okay, you don't throw it down the sink, down the drain, because later on it's going to solidify, it's going to clog, right? But what about a chicken? You put it in your mouth, it goes down your human drain to your artery later on, it's going to solidify, it's going to clog. But we don't care because the chicken is so good, we're more concerned about the drain, we forget about ourselves. Isn't that the case? Now you're laughing at yourself. Okay. Now, why are you just fat in your family diet, and how are children affected by what we eat? Joseph Piscatella and Dr. Denton Cooley is a world-renowned heart surgeon from Johns Hopkins University. And he stated in his book that a study in New York City found that 1 out of 3 children had a significant risk factor for a heart attack by age 14. Whoa, that's too young. And then they did autopsies of young children who died in auto accidents in Los Angeles and Cincinnati, and the same results were found. Saladmaster saved 70% on the energy. Can you imagine a savings of 70% in your energy? For every dollar that you spend in your energy, 70 cents goes back to your pocket by just using Saladmaster. Why? We do not use high heat, only medium and low. You can bake as much cake as you want on top of the stove. Low heat, it really doesn't count. And thirdly, you cut all your cooking time by half. When you sum it up, it's a savings of 70% in your energy, and that's a lot of savings. Don't you think so?
Oh yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me. They say that the kitchen is the most expensive room in the house. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Very good. You know, honestly, I've been to a lot of houses, big houses, small houses. I've done another show. And my people spend a lot of money in their kitchen. They've got granite countertops, awesome cabinets, matching stainless appliances. Ooh, this costs a lot, right? And you see all the kitchen gadgets in the counter. So what I do, I check the cabinet. And they're using Kmart special pots and pans. It doesn't make, for me, it doesn't make sense. How come you're spending this much in your kitchen and what are you cooking your food in? Because let me ask you guys, do you consider your pots and pans a major appliance? Very good if so, because don't you think it's the last step in the cooking process before your food touches your plate? Don't you think it should be the cleanest and the most important?
Yes.
At Saladmaster, we believe that your pot and pans is a major appliance because it gets used every day. Now check this out, this is very important. The materials used in cookware are very important to the way they perform. Let's start with cast iron. Has anybody here used cast iron?
Yes.
Dave, you used cast iron
Yes.
before? Okay, very good. They say it's even heat distribution and retains heat well. The problem with cast iron is that it is very porous. It's like our skin, it's got pores.
Mm-hmm.
So when you cook with cast iron at high heat, the pores open up. And the food particles that you're cooking, the juices, they enter these pores. When it cools down, the pores closes. And it traps the food particles that entered in. So what do? You wash it, right? You dry it, you store it, right? You store it in the cabinet, the cupboard, sometimes the oven. Now let me ask you guys, what happens to food stored at room temperature? They spoil, they rot, they decay, bacteria grows in it, right? So the next time you pull out your cast iron, you heat it up, the pores open up.
Yeah.
And the food particles that were trapped there resurfaces
Yeah.
and mixes with the new food that you're cooking. Some people call it the seasoning, right? I don't know if you ever experienced this. You cook fish in cast iron, you wash it, you dry it, you store it. The next time when you pull it out, you heat it up, what's the smell?
Fish.
It's the last food that you cooked in it. So this is what we're talking about. The next is aluminum. Aluminum is a very soft metal. It reacts with mineral salts, it reacts with acids in our tomatoes and vegetables. If you've been using aluminum for quite some time, and most of the rice cooker are made of aluminum, right? Try to touch it, feel it. It's no longer smooth, it's got pits. Now let me ask you guys, where do you think these pits went? Most of the time it mixes with the food and is ingested. And aluminum has no benefits to the human body. As a matter of fact, doctors are finding traces of aluminum in the knuckles, the worsens arthritis. They're finding it in the stomach that causes ulcer and indigestion. There was even a study, they're finding it in the nerve end of the brain. Although not proven yet, they think it's the biggest contributor to Alzheimer's disease. That's why aluminum by law is not allowed in schools, the military, and in hospitals, and lately even restaurants. So that tells us something there, right? And what they did was they added the non-stick coating, the Teflon tape. Now, to a lot of people, they think it's so cheap. But in the contrary, it is very expensive. Because if you read the warning, what does it tell you? Once you scratch it, get rid of it, right? Meaning it's disposable. Otherwise, you think it's pepper flakes in your next meal. It's already the non-stick coating. And technical term for non-stick coating is fluorocarbon resin. And check this out, guys. There's a quality brand of Teflon, an expensive brand, that comes with a very special warning. When you read it, it goes like this. Do not cook in high heat if you have a pet bird. I don't know if you guys have encountered this. Or if you wanted to own a pet bird, like a canary or a parrot, you go to a pet shop, they can ask you, do you guys own Teflon or the non-stick pots and pans? If you answer yes, they will advise you. Please do not put the bird in the kitchen and do not cook in high heat, especially when there's nothing on it. Because at high heat, it starts to secrete fumes. It gives out poison gases. When the birds smell this, they turn sick or sometimes they die.
Wow.
Now, for human beings, you get like a flu-like symptom when you inhale the fumes. You think you've got colds or allergies. Now, symptoms and manifestation is the same as flu. High fever between 100 to 104, muscle ache, back pains, headaches, the chills. It lasts for 2 days. They call this the C8 fever from Teflon. Now, come to think of this, guys. Birds have very small lungs. As a matter of fact, they only have air pockets. They're so sensitive to these fumes, they can turn sick, they can die. What do you think is going to happen if you're cooking with Teflon high heat and there's a 3 or 4 month old baby in your house? What it is going to be the effect, right? Now, the makers of Teflon, DuPont, they defended it. Now, all this information I'm sharing with you guys is a report from 2020, Barbara Walters. The makers of Teflon, DuPont, they said, it's perfectly safe to use Teflon because when you cook, you do not exceed high temperature. By high temperature, they meant 500 degrees and over. So what 2020 did was they tested it. They fried bacon. The only time bacon started to turn crisp was at 580 degrees. At 680 degrees, they were testing it with an apparatus. There were already 6 toxic chemicals in the air.
Wow.
So what do you think is going to happen if you're cooking with Teflon high heat and there are some kids around you? Anyways, you know what, guys? When we were designing Saladmaster, we asked a lot of people across the country what they were looking for in a cooking system, and this is what they told us. They said they wanted lifetime warranty to construct Saladmaster solutions. Because this used to be constructed of 7 layers that they call ply. Okay? First layer used to be, okay, take note, 316 surgical stainless steel on the inside, the one that touches your food, which is so safe, non-porous, and it's no chemical reaction. It is the highest that can be formed into cookware, and we are the only cookware company that uses 316 surgical stainless steel. But the company was not contented. A few years back, they improved it. They added titanium. So it's now titanium stainless steel, which makes all other cookwares like 10 years behind. The second layer used to be 304 stainless steel. Check this out. Which is the highest that any other brand of cookware can use on their inside. We only use it for outside layer. And a few years back, they improved it. We're now using A400 series stainless steel that gives a different gloss that lasts for a long time. And all our cookwares are induction ready. They're all magnetic. What's the purpose? What's the importance? What's the advantage? I'm going to show you in a little bit, okay? We still maintain the thick thermal core in between the walls that gives even heat distribution all around. That makes it work so effective to cook without oil and water. Now, Saladmaster is so proud of all its units, they put the company logo, the pot size, and where we are located. So this is your warranty. Even if you lose all your papers, you'll never lose this. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you a special feature of Saladmaster pertaining to the A400 series stainless steel. This is my magic weighing scale. I'm going to weigh all of you before we start eating. Who's going to be first? So I know who ate the most. No, I was just kidding myself. So this is what I call the induction stove, the state-of-the-art stove, the stove of the future. This is very popular in Europe, and some of the houses that are being built here right now, they come custom built with an induction stove. Now this kind of stove does not work with all kinds of pots and pans. It has to be induction ready, or it has to have ferritic steel. Either of the two. Now check this out. No matter how you turn it on, I'm going to turn it on. Here we go. As you can see, it's working 700 watts. Boom, it's going to shut off. It's not going to work unless it sensors something sitting on it which is induction ready. So now, even if you left it unattended and the children play with it, you have peace of mind it's not going to work unless they put something which is induction ready, which they do not know. Now, as you well know, this one has A400 series stainless steel, which makes it induction ready. So I'm going to put this on top. Here we go. Boom. 700 watts, higher, 1300. It's working because of the A400 series stainless steel. Now, automatic, when you lift it, of course, boom, it's going to shut off, right? Now, I want you to please touch the surface. Come on, just touch. It's cold, like nothing happened, right? Okay. Now, if you notice, I just put this in top for what? 2 seconds, right? Now, I want you to tap the bottom of the pot. Okay, just tap. Okay. 2 seconds, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But this one is cold, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a towel on top of the surface. Let's put this here. Oh, here. No. 1300 watts, okay? We're going to put some water, okay? Here we go.